Found footage gets a bad rap sometimes. Yes, it's cheap to make a found footage film, but when some thought is put into it, the results can be immersive and terrifying. One thing that oozes from found footage like an open sore is that it places the viewer in the shoes of some creepy people. It's that first-person creepiness that makes these two picks so damn good. This is ML Miller Frights, Best in Horror Countdown, 2024 through 2025. LOOKY-LOO was released February 1st, 2025, and is streaming on Tubi from Weird on Top Pictures. It's directed by Jason Zink and written by Nolan Mihail. A twisted voyeur stalks, assaults, and murders one woman at a time as seen through the lens of his video camera. I understand that this is going to be a divisive movie for some. In a nutshell, LOOKY-LOO is one man with a camera walking around and entering women's homes, punctuated by the occasional murder or act of perversion. It's a simple low-budget movie, but it is that rawness that appeals to me so much. This feels absolutely real. I mean, if you were to tell me that this is actual footage taken by a murderous peeping Tom, I'd believe you. And that's what makes it so terrifying. We know very little about the antagonist. He considers himself a filmmaker as he is titling and editing this project together on his computer. He takes particular items from his victims and adds them to his mannequin at home as trophies. And when he sees something that titillates him, he tends to get overly excited and breathes really heavy. All of this fleshes out the characters to be a real creep. But this film messed with my head in a way that few others have. Reminiscent of the Maniac remake from a decade ago, because the only perspective you see is the killer's, I caught myself rooting for this awful person not to be caught. It's unavoidable. You can't help but do this. LOOKY-LOO plays with your morality. It entices you with the voyeuristic pull of seeing these women unaware of being watched, and never really gives you a break from that uncomfortable feeling. Sure, we've been watching films through the eyes of killers for ages, starting with Black Christmas and Halloween, but few films place you firmly in the role of the voyeur/killer like this one does. If you're able to sit through the aforementioned Maniac, or films like In a Violent Nature and Angst, you're probably going to be able to endure LOOKY-LOO. It will effectively creep you and make you feel unclean after watching. For me, that kind of lingering after effect is something I really look for in horror. It really gets under your skin and gnaws and gnaws and gnaws. LOOKY-LOO certainly accomplishes all of that and more. It's not a movie, but a sequel series branching out from a pair of films, but The Creep Tapes excels in placing the viewer into uncomfortable situations. Worth noting is The Creep Tapes Season 1. It was released on November 15th, 2024, and streaming on Shudder from Duplass Brothers Productions. It was directed by Patrick Bryce and written by Patrick Bryce and Mark Duplass. Just when we all thought there was nothing new the found footage genre could tackle, Mark Duplass and Patrick Bryce delivered Creep in 2014 and took the subgenre into a scary and uncomfortable new direction. I revisited Creep and its sequel before diving into The Creep Tapes, and the films still hold up in delivering chills that range from awkward to terrifying to just plain wrong. The series promises more of the same as it delves into the Creeps, played by Mark Duplass, collection of videos we saw at the end of the first Creep film. Each half-hour segment is a truncated version of the two films. Yes, they are uncomfortably funny and awkwardly terrifying, as all of these segments have the creep luring unsuspecting souls to a remote location to terrorize and inevitably kill them. All of these episodes have moments where you laugh because it's the only way you can express that uncomfortable feeling with the topics discussed that are so personal and odd, and then gasp when the creep finally turns from amusingly creepy to downright deadly. And I think that's where the problems lie in this series. The first 4 episodes, while featuring different victims in different locations, start and end in the same way, with the creep killing the person at the end of each segment. Now, I know that's the premise of the franchise, but the series is in danger of being overly repetitive if it doesn't look out. I'd love to see one person get away, and then there's a part 1 and part 2 of the set of tapes where the creep eventually tracks the guy down. or a tape taking place with the creep as a kid. This would allow us into the brain of the enigmatic star of the series and offer us something new. This series needs variety to keep it from being redundant. Still, I trust Duplass and Bryce to do just that. While it is subtle, there are moments of revelation that occur as the creep meets a birdwatcher and finds their methods of luring in their interests are exactly the same. Or in the first segment, where we get a very cool scene where the creep changes from friendly to diabolical right in front of our eyes. This is all Duplass, who hasn't missed a beat in the 8 years since we last saw him in front of the camera as the creep. The conversations will make your spine itch as he pries his way into the minds of his victims and scrapes away at their patience and sense of right and wrong and reality. It really is a marvelous role and a performance I couldn't see many other actors pull off. I do have to warn you that in order to enjoy this series, I recommend watching the movies first. It'll open up this creepy world Duplass has cobbled together and prepare you for the depravity to come. Episode 4 feels like more of the same as Duplass's creeper once again lures some unsuspecting soul into his lair. But by this time, the same format has been used in 2 movies and 3 episodes, so it's getting tired. Still, the inclusion of actor Josh Rubin in the 4th episode only helps as his brand of humor really fits the series. Episode 5 finally gets into some uncharted ground as the creeper has a one-to-one with himself in a hotel room while waiting for his next victim. This is a real crisis of conscience episode as Duplass's more ferocious side, Peach Fuzz, the personality he takes while wearing the werewolf mask, begins to fight for control. This episode cheats in that the camera is able to capture 2 Duplasses when one of them obviously is appearing only in the creeper's mind. I like the venture into the self-loathing psyche of the creeper, even though this episode broke the rules of found footage by showing a hallucination, something that just couldn't be captured on camera. Still, this is an experimental episode that shakes up the monotony of repetition quite a bit, so I appreciate that. The final episode is a doozy and could have been extended into a full-length feature if they really wanted to. The creeper visits his mother's house, scaring her with the mask and discovering she has a new boyfriend. This, of course, doesn't go well with the mama's boy as the creeper unravels right in front of his mother and boyfriend. The result is disturbing and uncomfortable, but these are things that fans of this series of films and episodes have come to expect. I did appreciate the look behind the mask to see what the creeper is really like at home. Turns out he's quite neurotic and doesn't like sharing his mommy with anyone. While this series deterred in intensity as it relied on the same format for too long, I mean, how many times can we see the creeper lure someone into a desolate place, make them uncomfortable, and then eventually murder them with an axe? And of course, yes, those who need more action and kills per minute are going to find this a wear to one's patience. Duplass's creep is going to get too much under the skin of some, and they just don't like feeling that way, and they'll probably turn it off. For me, I relished every weird and intrusive moment. The Creep Tapes gets good when it goes outside of the usual format in the final 2 episodes and focuses on the dynamic and warped psyche of this character Duplass has so painstakingly developed over the span of 2 movies and now 6 episodes. I don't know if I'd like to see a season 2 of the Creep Tapes, even though it looks like that's exactly what we're going to get according to IMDb. I'd rather have Duplass and his collaborator Patrick Bryce wait for a clever idea to expand on in another feature-lengther. But if you're looking for horror that'll make you squirm in your seat, Duplass and Bryce know how to deliver it in the Creep Tapes. As always, feel free to agree, disagree, or how about you play along at home and give me your own picks for your own favorite movies of the year. It's October, so let's talk horror. Come back tomorrow for the next level in the Best in Horror Countdown. Be sure to hit all of those pertinent bells and whistles down below, and you'll never miss a post. Happy Halloween, folks.